I'm Jonathon Eigenmann. I am a sports reporter / MMJ here at WGM TV. I don't really have a preference when it comes to music. Obviously, I think I like more rap and hip hop. As I got older, when I was younger, it's more the rock and the old music, or older music. I'd say like 80s. I grew up on the Beatles. Those kind of bands like that. I would say rap and hip hop would probably be my preferences. I'd say when I first started out, obviously, joining the business, my first time and ever being on TV, I was nervous, so I was speaking fast, and I'm always a fast-speaking person. It just comes out of my mouth before I can even think about it sometimes. But I remember my first month, we got a call about a complaint saying I was speaking too fast. And when I went to ask my coworkers, hey, did you think this criticism was right, or was this just something that people were just saying just to be mean? They said it was true, that I was speaking too fast. I was not, properly, conveying, the information I was trying to get to the viewer. I'd say my first month I did take it a little harshly because, obviously I was still new. I was new to Northern Maine. It was a lot of stuff I was still trying to figure out as myself, trying to figure out what kind of man I wanted to be, what kind of career I wanted to have. Like I said, I took it harshly at first, but then I kind of, took it with a grain of salt because I did know I was speaking too fast. And, I tried to slow down, and I did that. I slowed down, and I really got better as far as that went, but then it kind of wasn't me because I was slowing down too much, and I wasn't able to get my usual pace. So, over time, I kind of just developed kind of like a kind of happy medium, as you could call it, just in between a, kind of fast, but, that kind of suits the way I talk, but kind of slow enough to where it's not, nobody can hear it. And it's kind of worked out for me so far, I think. Just that happy medium and finding that. And I feel like that criticism, while it was harsh at first, I think it was necessary because it kind of helped me find my, I guess you could call it my anchor voice, my news voice, because, that's always kind of the struggle of that first month, is trying to find that voice. And I think I found it because of that criticism. I would say it's the family type atmosphere. As many may know or may not know, I come from North Carolina, which is a 19-hour drive from Northern Maine, where we are. And, being away from family, that's always kind of harsh in your first month, especially this month away, because you're just not used to people you're around. But when I first came here, obviously it was a struggle to fit in. It's a different area. But then afterwards, it felt like I had brothers and sisters and aunts and uncles. And it really did feel like a family type atmosphere that I've never felt before. I had friends that, I never dreamed I could make before. The people I would probably I would go to war with. That's kind of like family. The newsroom we have here is the people that we could go to war with, people that we know we have each other's backs, that we know that no matter what happens, we're going to support each other through thick and thin. We might get in arguments like anybody does. We might get angry at each other. We might not be happy with each other, but we are going to stick together. And honestly, I'm glad I came here for that reason, because it's been such an enjoyable time, and that's honestly what's made my experience in Northern Maine that much better. Obviously, as a sports reporter, I have to have an interest in sports. So I've always, been a sports fan since I was younger. Ironically, born in Ohio, I was a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, which is kind of ironic. But back then, Cleveland Browns weren't a good team, so it was honestly just, that or the other. But, I grew up, loving the Indians, who are now the Guardians, and the Cavaliers, who are now good. And then obviously the Ohio State Buckeyes. That was always my favorite college team growing up. And then when I moved to North Carolina, that's more or less stayed the same, except, when I went to North Carolina State University, I became an NC State fan. And, it kind of helped me appreciate other, teams and sports. And as I got older, I feel like my appreciation for sports and my view of sports has changed. You know, not only from a professional level, but the local level, just seeing the impact of local sports and seeing the difference between local and professional. You know, like how much, you know, even a high school game could feel just as good as a, you know, a professional game as far as just the impact, the atmosphere, and the energy. It's unique how that comes about. If I had to pick a favorite moment, I would have to say it was the game against Clemson from NC State, where we upset them in overtime, and it was a game winner. Not a game winner, but it was like a overtime game, and I ran onto the field. You know, I was pretty much by myself, but you know, that was like the one moment where I didn't care about what was going on. I was so super excited, and it was one of the best games I ever went to. So yeah, I would say that had to be my favorite moment. But yeah, it's just, I would say what's changed over time has been my view of sports and impact on not only the local level, but you know, just, you know, personally, just seeing how people, you know, seeing people grow up basically in sports.